is his mask, and I'm just using a little bit of Abaddon Black for that, because I want it to look like it's a mask. I don't want it to look natural over his face, if you get me drift. So I'm just using the tip of my brush get in there, and I'm going to have to recover some of these. In fact, I'm going to have to get a thinner brush and do that right now, I think. It's just the Doom Bull Brown, wasn't it, that I used for the shirt under the armour there. So we've done that. Next I want to go back into the colour for the body armour and just touch up here and there on what I want. I'm going to come back and highlight the body armour again. I've not finished it, so don't think that what I'm doing at the moment is the final process. It's not. I'm not doing as highly detailed of a job, but I'm still not just stopping with a base coat. That's all this is. This is just literally a base coat. Okay, I have missed that. Oops. Which is the leather strap around that knee. Get that done now. There we are. Now what I want to do is get back into the green that we used for the jacket, which was the Castellan green, was it not? And give it a bit of a shake and get some more of this onto the brush. And I just need to touch up a few places here and there. And I've got a very, well, not a very, but quite a damp brush, so it is getting, what's the word I'm looking for? It is dilute, and I'm scraping off as much paint as I can with this, but I want to make sure that the colours are exactly where I want them to be. Let's just go over top of the jacket there, under the hair, and there. And I've just noticed I've missed another strap. I'm going to do a different colour for that strap. I'm just going to use Doom Bull Brown for it. It's just like a band around his jacket, so that's what I'm going to use for it. And then it's wash time. Now for the wash, for the skin areas, it's going to get a wash of Reikland Flesh Shade. For the hair, Agrax Earth Shade. In fact, for the rest of him, for the flesh, we've got, Reikland Flesh Shade, which is this one. Alright, we're going to use that for the flesh. I'm also going to go over the stake in that as well. And we have people letting off fireworks outside, so if you hear any weird noises, that's what it is. Again, over the flesh with the Reikland flesh shade, and again here once more Reikland flesh shade. Right, I'm going to give that a little bit of time to dry in certain parts. I've noticed that I've got a touch up here on the boots. And what's that part? That's the bit for the trousers, isn't it? Just make sure everything that you want a certain colour is that colour. You don't want to be starting painting and starting highlighting and then realise that you've missed somewhere. Just make sure everywhere you want the colour is painted that colour. Okay, I think that is it. Now for this stage, I'm just going to have to give that a chance to dry a little bit, and the bit that I've just touched up a chance to dry, and all of this now is going to get, except for the flesh, the rest of it is going to get a covering with the not Reikland flesh shade, the Agrax Earth shade. But there's a bit of that band there I need to go over, and that is that. So when we come back, all of the model will have had a wash of Agrax Earth shade. And then I keep seeing bits that haven't been, or that I haven't managed to cover properly, so this is why I say make sure that everywhere you want a certain colour is that colour. But yeah, that is him so far. What we need to do now, as I say, is give him a wash all over with the Agrax Earth shade, except for the skin. And then when we come back we can start highlighting, but that's all I'm doing for the time being. I don't think I could be able to get away with painting anything else. Although, as you see, all his Ujits, what's what I'm looking for, all the wash has dried. It's just a case now of highlighting. So first off, we're going to highlight the skin tone. Usually what we do is add a little bit of Screaming Skull, and this week, or this episode, or this video is no exception. So there we are. Let's get some Screaming Skull on the go. There we are. Screaming Skull just about there. I'll move the palette up a little bit so you can see what we have. I'm going to put that there to hand just in case we need some more. Anyway, so we have our skin tone here. There we are, and there we are. Usually what I would do first off, however, is just do another highlight with the same colour, but because of the way the miniature is, I'm not going to bother. I'm just trying to get as much detail done as I can with these minis now. So there's not really much in the line of detail I need to do, with these fellas, because there's not or with the flesh tones anyway, because there's not all that much in the line of flesh tone visible. So I'm just going to do what I can. There we are, that is about it really. Next job we have is the green jacket. Now I need to pop some more of the Castellan green onto the palette, just so we can mix some of the, way too much there probably, but never mind. Never mind. May need to touch up a little bit here and there somewhere else, so we'll do that. So there's the Castellan green. We'll pop some of that over here, and then add some of the some of the Screaming Skull into it. A little bit more of the Castellan green, because I think I've done it a bit too pale. Bear in mind, it's not it's not a pale colour, so we don't want it too pale. It's going to be too obvious that way, so I'm going to do some of these little strokes here and there over the mini, just to pick out some details. I'm not going, as I say, I'm not going overboard with these. It's just simply a case of getting some colour on and making it look a little more pleasing to the eye as you're playing the game. These these oh dear Lord, what am I saying? I can't remember, I can't think. These something or other. Oh dear God. Oh right, yes, these videos, you may notice that I'm not using the same sound quality as I normally would. That is because in the first video I did mention that there's something showing up on it that I hadn't noticed before. That is a feature that you can get with the sound recorder, where you can, as you're speaking, it will convert it to text, but it only allows 10 minutes, and that's what it's done. I don't know how it's done that, because I've not put it on there, but that's what it's gone on to. So unfortunately I didn't get the proper sound that I usually get, but hope it's not spoiled the videos too much. What I'm using is just the microphone on the camera, so as I say, I hope it's not spoiled it too much. A little bit of the Screaming Skull into this colour that we used for the body armour. A little bit more, so we can mix some more of that colour in, and there we are. And we'll just go over some parts and leave others the colour it was. There we are. And that's all we need to do with this. As we say, it's not a major operation, this one. It's just a case of colouring in. And I keep saying this just because I want it known that I'm not just cutting corners for the sake of it, or cutting corners because I can't be bothered doing anything more on it. It is, as I said, because these aren't incredibly good quality minis. They're good enough minis for game pieces, and I'm not by any stretch of the imagination criticising them for, you know, they're not really awful quality, but they aren't. But well, let's put it one way: when you've been spoiled, when you've had games like Conan and Mythic Battles Pantheon, you get a little bit spoiled in your quality of minis, and nothing sort of like lives up to, well, things don't live up rather to the quality you got used to from those games. It's yeah, it does. Well, it's a bit of a drawback. You don't really want to spend as much time on minis like this than you would with them. These are absolutely good, you know, these are really good models. They're really good miniatures. I am not in any way, shape or form criticising any of these miniatures, because they are good minis. They are just not as good as other minis I've got. I'm looking at the whole picture rather than just nitpicking, well, not nitpicking, but I'm looking at the whole picture rather than just little bits of it. And the whole picture is the fact that I've had my what's the word I'm looking for, my taste wavered by the fact that I've got really good quality miniatures from some games, and then not quite as good from others. And you know, I am actually working to the quality of the mini, excuse me, rather than trying to get everything looking the same. I hope you understand what I'm saying there. It's it does sound a little bit strange, but I said painting something but not putting the same amount of effort in. But as I say, it's simply because the quality of the minis don't really necessitate all that time spent on it, because these, I wouldn't actually go around and show off and say, look, here are some minis I've painted, and what's it, you know, I wouldn't put them on display. They are going to be kept in the box. Whereas the minis for Conan and Mythic Battles Pantheon, I would like to sort of like get a nice display unit put up with them in. So that's that. Next one, we have the mix that we did for the trousers. I believe this is. So we're just going to put a few little marks here and there on the cloth areas of the trousers, just to bring out the whatchamacallit, the texture and the oh dear God, can't think of the name, you know, the movement and the look, make it more into 3D rather than what it could be just like a flat paint job. I don't want to do a flat paint job on these. I want to do as well as I can, but not going overboard. A little bit more of the Screaming Skull into this brown colour that we used for the boots, and we'll just on the ridges, there we go, and here on the way down the back, pick off some areas here, because this is the one, oh dear, this angle is where the boot is going to pick up the light from. It's not going to pick up any light from underneath, so I'm not going to bother doing that there. So I'll do that and do that, just like so. That is sorted. I need to go back into the one for the trousers, because I didn't put any on the rolled area here or here. There we are. Next job, some of the Screaming Skull into the brown that we used for these shirts. And it's just a little bit, not all that much. I'm going to add some under here because I did miss that one originally. Next, the oh dear, what have we not done so far? I think we've done everything, haven't we? The only thing we haven't done now is the hair, which I did with this mix. In fact, what I think I may do for the hair is using just some Screaming Skull, and I'm just going to do that. Kind of not necessarily a dry, well, it is a dry brush, but using the using the side of the brush and going along the hair. There we are. That's what we've done there. I'm now going to go into a colour that we didn't use originally, which is Flash Gitch Yellow. And I'm using this fairly neat straight from the tub, and that is going to be on the cross inside this little shoulder thing that he has here. There we are. That's that bit done, and next it's the flamethrower. So for the flamethrower, I'm going to use, when I can see it, this one. Different than I usually use for metal, well, for guns should I say, but it's a flamethrower. It's Hashut copper is what I'm using. Now bear with me, it's not as weird a jump as you might think it is. I just need to make sure that it's all mixed up. It's a very, very watery paint, this one, so we'll get a little bit of that on our brush. I'm using a small dry brush, putting it on, taking it off, and then wafting it down. In fact, I'm not taking any off at all, I'm just going to put it on, and then I'm hoping you can see this. It's not a big jump from the Warplot bronze, but I'm just adding little touches here and there of that, and then I'm going to use our alternative palette, put a little bit of that onto our alternative palette, and into that we'll pop some Stormhost Silver to lighten it somewhat. Make sure again that this is what you may call it, all mixed up, and we will just go over the raised areas with that. It's not showing up very well, so I'm going to abandon that idea and just use straight Stormhost Silver and just run it gently over. I don't want to really swamp it out. There we are. That will do. And next, using a little bit of the Evil Sun Scarlet that we used earlier, we'll shift that back out of the way. So we'll get that on our brush, and making sure that we have a good enough point on the brush, we'll just go over this patch here that, I keep calling it a patch, I'm not sure whether it's a patch or not. I will go around the centre of this canister, and that will do for that. And I think we're almost done. The only thing I need to do now is put a little bit of the Screaming Skull in the mix that we used for the leather straps. There's not much of this, but we just need to make sure we pick out the leather straps, make sure they're highlighted as well as everything else, because you don't do something, it stands out like a sore thumb. There you are. The leather straps all done. And that is, it's not the leather straps all done because we've got this belt that I've put around his waist and his jacket. And I'm just dabbing some of this on. It's almost a dry brush. In fact, it's very, very close to being a dry brush. And next, what we're going to be doing, a little bit of the Screaming Skull with a little bit of a couple of other colours here. And that is just for the wooden stake. And there we have one thing I have forgotten. The mask he's wearing. There we go. And that, dear viewer, is that. All that remains now is for me to get my fairly largest brush, some Rhinox hide, and paint the base. So that is it for Joshua. Hope you enjoyed these videos. Whatchamacallit, I was going to say, the next one we're going to be doing, I think it might be Stefan. I'm going to leave Magenta till last. So we'll do Stefan next, and then it will be magenta. Then they're all going to get a good vernishing, good spraying with varnish, and then hopefully we can get to play it on Halloween. And so as I get the rules remotely right, there will be a chance that I'll forget some of them and not do something, but that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, where we'll be doing Stefan, take care, God bless, and bye for now. Here's another look at Joshua.